What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Naturally Yours podcast, where we celebrate women and we celebrate men too. So, on this particular episode, we are going to be talking about love and business. So, help me welcome my special guest, my sis, Shannon Brown.
Hey. Hi, and thank
Hey,
you so much
sis.
for having me.
You are so welcome.
Love and business, two out of three of my favorite topics to talk about.
Right? Right. These are two of my favorite things too, because definitely a lover and I'm definitely a
All about my
businesswoman. So
business.
yes. So first off, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do currently, and how you went from one business and then you transitioned into something else.
Yeah, sure. So, hey, everybody, I'm Shannon Brown, the CEO of Create Your Own Empire and the podcast host of Bible, Business, and Babies. And I'm so excited to be here. Um, like Ty said, we're going to be talking about love and business, and it Create Your Own Empire has branched out. It's one of the things that I think I had to really realize is that Create Your Own Empire doesn't just have to be one entity, one thing. So my love of passion for coaching, it started out with me coaching new online entrepreneurs how to market their online store. So using Shopify, using social media, and really using the power of marketing to reach their ideal customer and to expand their store. And so I did that for about 2.5 years. And then this summer, after losing my father, I had like this whole revelation. It was kind of like a buildup though, because when you have the need to change and you want to do something, because a lot of us, we start out with one thing because, maybe we are passionate about it. But as we're in it, we really begin to see like, once you lose the passion and the flame for something, what do you do? So I know for one thing about me, I'm always going to be a teacher. I'm always going to be teaching people how to do something. But I actually wanted to begin to transition into my passion, which was crafting. So 10 years ago, when I started my first business, I was making homemade body butters and scrubs and soaps and things like that. So I've always been a crafter, a maker. And I wanted to expand this time around. I really wanted to expand my t-shirt business, and I wanted to be able to offer entrepreneurs an affordable way to start their t-shirt business. So
Right.
when I first had the idea, I figured, okay, I'll start wholesaling, and that was great. And then my father passed, and like my whole world crumbled down. And so for about
Right.
3 months, I found myself in like this functional depressive state. Is really weird to explain because and we're going to talk about this in a podcast, but when I'm a mom of four and all these things going on, but when I lost my dad, everything came crashing down in my life. And I
Mhm.
had to like take this realization like, wow, I'm doing all these things, right? I was operating four different businesses at the time, and I had to take a step back. So in October, late October, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to list a t-shirt transfer on Etsy. And it was just the one little transfer that I was going to list. And I figured it
Mhm.
would be just a way to make a little bit of extra money on the side.
Right.
And knowing me, picking up a new skill of teaching people how to utilize Etsy. And when I listed my first t-shirt transfer, it sold out within 2 days. And I knew, I was like, wait, I might be onto something. And then I
Mhm.
just began to really pay attention and begin to build it. So with that, I branched off, right? Like, cause my business is a tree that is always growing, and just another
Yes.
branch. So another branch of my company is Create Your Own Empire Transfers. And so I just provide t-shirt transfers for crafters. And even that in itself over this year will begin to build out and expand as I get to meet, as I interact and meet with more entrepreneurs and figure out their needs, because the game is ever changing. So that's
Yes.
my introduction, and I'll save the rest for the podcast.
Okay. So now we are about to get into some of the juiciness of this episode. So we really kind of wanted to just, put our perspective on relationships and being in business, or relationships and being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
because you get one side that says you shouldn't be in a relationship when you're being an entrepreneur. Then you get the other side where people are in a relationship, such as me and you, and we're entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So what's your take on that, Shannon?
Okay, absolutely. So I actually saw this. It's funny you say that because I saw online, it was like a tweet and someone said, no, it was a TikTok, and the girl was trying to explain, like, do not get in a relationship in the beginning of the year, because she was talking about New Year's, new beginnings. Do not get in a relationship if you are still building your business. If you are single right now, focus on building your business and then get into a relationship. And I agree with her. I was
I
like,
agree with
I agree,
her. Yes.
because it is hard. Because for one, when you are building out your business, okay, it
Mhm.
really requires your attention. It requires your focus. And if you get into a relationship in the midst of that, your attention, all right, because we all know new love is nothing like new love. All right, new love,
Girl,
oh my
like,
goodness, y'all are,
"Ah,
oh, what are you doing? You're like
I
always, you
can't
always
wait to
want to be
meet
around each
you."
other. Now, unless that person is like, oh my God, about their business, they have a business and they understand. And that's the one thing we also have to get into as well. But
Yes.
I suggest that if you're really serious about building your business, hold off, right? Hold off, put your attention and focus in on your business before you try to dedicate yourself to a full-time relationship.
Mhm.
All right, that's one thing. Now, if you like me and Ty, and you already came married way before this business, okay? Because shout out to my husband. This year marks our 19th year together. We've
Whoop,
been together.
whoop.
I know. We've been together since high school. So we're celebrating 19 years together. He has seen everything under the sun. He has seen every business, every idea, every he has seen it all. And honestly, I couldn't have done it without his support. But I can't wait to give you my perspective, because sometimes I know how I can sometimes I may not say that he's frustrated, but sometimes I know he'd be like, "Wait, you doing something else?" So we'll talk about
Okay.
that.
So I know for me, I definitely agree with Shannon, and I agree with the young lady who said that on TikTok. Being an entrepreneur is ever changing and it's very challenging. So if you're not in a relationship, then it's best to stay single. You're going to enjoy this journey, trust me. Not having to have extra responsibility to take care of, where you'll be able to be tunnel vision and actually just put your full focus into your business. Do you know how fast you're going to be able to build your business because you don't have any other responsibilities? Like for me and Shannon, we have children, we got to cook, we got to clean, like we
Oh,
still got to build our business. Like we wear all the hats in our business. So we like Shannon just, God just, hired her some help, but she still mostly does everything. So
yeah, and look, and that includes having babies. I'm so sorry to say it, okay? Because look here, I got serious about create your own empire when I first started. I got serious because I got pregnant with my fourth child, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to be able to afford this baby. Let me get serious about my business." All right. But I
right.
have met women who have had babies in the
Mhm.
midst of starting their business. And what happens is, once you have that beautiful baby, and there's nothing wrong, y'all. Don't come at me now. I'm not saying that you cannot have a baby and have a business. Okay, that's not true.
Because you can.
You can, but when you're starting out your business, you got a new relationship. Now y'all got a baby, right? Now look where your business has fallen in line. Right now, your
Mhm.
man, your new
Mhm.
baby, and when you got a
Mhm.
baby, oh my gosh, everything's good until the baby starts crawling, walking, moving, then
Meddling.
everything really starts to pick up. Okay, because trust me, y'all see the look in my face. I'm doing this interview while everybody is asleep because this is the only time I can do it. And here I am, a mom of 4 children between the ages of 2 and 18. So it's the timing, your timing decreases and what you can actually do for your business. Not saying it can't be done, but if you're just starting out and you're really serious about scaling and growing your business, y'all, men and babies can wait.
Yes,
Or
they
your
can.
spouse, your woman, whatever it is, can wait.
Yes, absolutely. Unless we're about to get into what Shannon was going to say earlier, unless your new man is an entrepreneur too, and he knows just as much as you do how important it is to stay focused and to be tunnel vision. And then you guys can help lean on each other for ideas or whatnot to build different things, that creativity. So I would say that would be the exception to the rule.
Yeah, and I would say honestly, if he's really about his business, he's probably not going to be pursuing you in a serious relationship because he's so focused in tunnel vision. And I don't care. I'm telling you, it can be two people. When you're in love,
Mhm.
like love really comes first, y'all. I'm telling you, you really start to
Yes.
sacrifice. And like, oh my gosh, it's Friday night. I should be working on my business for the weekend, getting prepared for next week. But now I'm laid up. I'm Netflixing and chilling. Right. I'm going out. I'm doing
Right.
these things. It's not saying that you can't have a life, but we're just talking. I'm just personally saying the commitment, right?
Right.
Everything that we enter into requires a commitment. And so
Mhm.
you're going to be faced with,
And
okay,
sacrifice.
time with my spouse or my boyfriend, girlfriend, or time with my business, y'all. And
Right.
this is facts. Time with my kids, time with my business. Because there's been plenty of times over the summer where I'm like, I gotta work on my business, but I have
Mhm.
4 children at home and they don't care. They don't
Right.
care. They
I
don't
want
care.
mommy
They
time.
want to go to the pool. They want to go out. They want to do all these things. And guess what? My children come first. So, in hindsight, over the summer, my business receives the least amount of attention because I have 4 kids here and I got to do all these things. I don't care how
Right.
much you automate. I don't care how much you pre-plan, pre-batch, all that stuff. It doesn't matter.
Things happen.
Now I'm just venting my own frustration. It doesn't
Let
matter.
it out, girl. Let it out.
It doesn't matter. Don't do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Just be wise in your decision making
Mhm.
because
Yes.
you'll come to a point where it gets really, really challenging and tough, and you'll almost want to quit. And then you have all this other responsibility on the other side, and you're like, man, I got to tackle this too. Plus, I got to tackle this. So it can definitely get overwhelming. So definitely just don't bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah. Because I bit the whole piece of steak.
Like, no appetizers over here. I need
And
the
I'm just
full
still chewing.
entree.
I'm just still chewing this piece of steak.
So what is one thing that you notice is very challenging being in a relationship? And well, I guess we kind of answered that. But is there
No,
anything in particular?
it is challenging. Okay, so I've been with my husband for 19 years. Okay, we've been married for 10, so this is coming up on our 11th year of our marriage. And like I said, he has seen from the start. Now, if you're somebody, if this sounds like you, like I'm Miss Bright Idea, all right, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, but
Mhm.
I'm blessed because I had someone to support all my visions. Okay.
Yes.
If I
Yes.
today, if I was to tell my husband I want to start selling hot dogs up the street, he would be like, okay, because he knows that I don't care what you think, I'm going to do it. I got to try. I have to at least try it out. But
Right.
I think that the challenge really comes in these three areas in your relationship when it comes to love and business. The first one is communication.
Yes.
So because
Definitely.
your spouse is not in the business world, do not limit the form of communication of talking to them, right? Because for
Right.
one, we're on our phones a lot. right? We're
Mhm.
recording. We got to do TikToks. We got to explain why we dancing and why we need them to do these things. Communication, right? Talking to your spouse about your business is
Right.
going good, is going bad. Do you have any suggestions? How can you do these things? I'm frustrated. I have cried a many a times to my husband about the things going on. And I've never like I have, oh my God, babe, I did this. I did so I really that's something I had to learn in the beginning is not to keep everything to myself. Right. Just
Right.
because it's my business. Okay, he not in business, he don't understand. But keeping that open line of communication is very important because what it does is first off, communication in any relationship is key because
Yes.
they don't know you having a bad day.
Mhm.
Why you in a bad mood? Like you
Right.
mad because you're real flop because you worked 90 minutes on it and you ain't getting no traction, or maybe you were going to launch a new product and nothing happened, or whatever
Mhm.
it is, you just having a bad day in business. It happens. Like it happens.
They
But
do.
now you in a bad mood. Your spouse don't know why you in a bad mood. Your kids don't know why you in a bad mood. And I'm so where's the communication? So I am very open, very upfront. I call my husband all the time. I'm frustrated. Like, for example, when I lost my dad this summer, if it
Mhm.
really wasn't for my husband, I never forget it was a Friday. My daughter, my youngest daughter, she was on next level. I mean, I don't know what it was that day. She was having such a tough day. I was having such a tough day, and I was just crying. I mean, y'all this close to quitting, this close to just saying, I don't care, I'm gonna give it up. I don't care. But it was my husband. If it wasn't for that communication that we had, for him to say, "Hey, like look what just happened to you like less than 3 weeks ago. Like, give yourself some time and grace. You're great. You are creative. He was like literally speaking all
Yes.
his life into me. And I had to kind of remind myself, like, yeah, okay, let me give myself some time. Let me give myself some grace. Let me
Mhm.
come back down and lower my expectations a little bit. I did just go through this major loss and kind of come back down. And he push me, okay, come, how
Right.
you doing? How's this? How's that? And he
Right.
kept motivating me because he knows that this is something that I love and I'm super passionate about. But if it wasn't for that communication piece, I would have lost it. Right. And
Right.
it's not a friend. I got good friends. I got all these things, but it's different when it's in house. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's different when it's
Oh
in.
yeah.
So communication is one. The second
Yeah.
one is the financial part of it, y'all. The financial part. I know so many, look, y'all, if y'all got that joint bank account, or maybe if you need that additional money, if you're bootstrapping your business, you need to be open about your finances, y'all. Open about it because what happens is a lot of the times we're starting our business and we're
Mhm.
spending all this money and we're not seeing anything in return. Okay.
Right.
And your spouse may not fully support that or understand that, or why do you need to buy $1,000 course? Why do you need to buy a $50 ebook? Why do you need to do this? Or why do you keep buying so many art supplies or craft supplies or this or that? Like, what is this? More
Right.
boxes? What is happening? And then they start asking, well, how much money is coming in? How much money is coming in? So I remember about a year and a half into my coaching business, I just had to like tell my husband, stop asking me how much money I make. Like, stop it. All right. I ain't make no. Did you see me Zoom anybody this week? I ain't have no clients. So stop. So because I feel like there's an expectation to entrepreneurs. If you're not in, if you really have never owned your own business, you just
Mhm.
don't know how long it takes before you start actually making money, right?
Right.
For one, we're throwing ourselves out into the sea of social media and we gotta swim with like a million other fishes. And we have to outlast a million other fishes long before we even see a piece of like a little drop of fish food. Okay. Like,
Okay.
what can I say?
Yes. So
It's
true. So true.
100% true. It's 100% true. Even when, so I did when I launched my business on Etsy. Like
Mhm.
I said, it didn't start out as a business. When I made my first sale, I didn't have labels, I didn't have envelopes, I didn't have anything to mail the product because I did not know it would sell that fast. So I had to pull from my actual bank accounts, okay, money to buy things, buy envelopes, buy mailers, buy this. And I'm like, wait, I got to buy more prints because although you're making money, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this is something because my blow up on Etsy happened really fast. I literally went from like one sale to 1,000 sales in 30 days. So everything was moving so fast that I, you know what I mean? You got to constantly feedback and as you're growing and things like that. But in the beginning, I had to pull a lot of my own money. And so I had to keep that in mind. So spouses, please give your entrepreneur understand that yes, it takes some time, right? Like we're especially the shout out to all my crafters out there. All right. Yes, we need more craft supplies. We need more cups, t-shirts. Yes, we need these things. I've gone through 3 heat presses, all right, 3 of them in the last 3 years. So I had to buy, I bought one, it didn't work, so I had to return it. Bought another one, didn't work, had to return it. Then I just bought another one to replace my old one, it didn't work. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's always going to be some type of cost. Always going to be some type of cost. So,
Always.
right, that goes back to the communication piece. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. Babe, look
Right.
here. I need $50. I need $100. This is what I'm trying to save up for. This and that, this and
Right.
that. You gotta be very open about your, communication, finances. And I said it was three. But you and when you just you want to, I'm a big I'm a I really feel like when you're building a business, especially if you have a family or you got a spouse,
Mm-hmm.
make it you still have to have you got to find that balance, right? When I
Mm-hmm.
don't first off, I had my first child when I was 16. I was pregnant at 15. So I only had a few short years of my life like of just worrying about myself. Okay? So
Right.
basically for the last 18 years I've been worrying about somebody else. So
Right.
when you have other people to worry about and you're building your business, you have to find a balance.
Right.
Has to be a balance. Has to be a time for work, has to be a time for um, yourself, and it has to be a time for your children, your spouse, whatever it is. So you have to be able to balance your scales. You
Right.
cannot put multiple eggs in one basket, and if you're running a business and you put all your eggs into your family and your spouse, then the other areas you and your business are going to suffer. You're a person, look, I'm focusing all on me, right? I'm trying to get my mental right. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get right so that I can be better for my family and my business. Okay, two
Right.
other things are going to suffer. And the same thing with I'm all about my business. I got to build this business so my family can have a good life. But then meanwhile, you're missing out on good memories. You're missing out on all these things in terms of your family.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to
Right.
learn that balance. You have to learn how
Yes.
to say, I got to put the computer down. I got to look here, y'all. Y'all got to watch this. Y'all got to do this because I got to do this. And you got to find y'all. I run multiple businesses. I'm a mom of four and I'm a wife. And at the end of the day, it doesn't, I still have to carve out time for my husband. No matter the time of the day, right? If I still have to carve out that time because it's important. It's very important.
It
You have to
is.
make it work.
It
Communication, financial, and balance.
Yes. Two, three very, very important things. I definitely agree with you on the communication because you guys can somebody can just buy something twice because there's no communication. Um which sucks, especially with inflation going on. Nobody don't need to be buying something twice if you don't need it. Um Also, when it comes to the bank account, you still need communication because somebody could take a lump sum of money out, and maybe you wanted to make a lump sum purchase. If there's no communication, something could not go right, or somebody could get declined because they didn't
Right.
know that that amount of money wasn't in there. So
Yeah.
I did want to touch on the financial situation because mine's a little different from Shannon's, but we Okay, so Shannon will be back in just a moment, but there was a time where me and my husband first had joint checking accounts together, and then like we went through a rough patch, and we end up, separating our accounts. And during that time, I went and got a another account. So I was telling them how we started off as a joint account, and then like we went through a rough patch, and I end up getting another account outside of our joint account.
Oh, girl, I got like 4 accounts, and my husband know all about it. He be like, "What you saving up to leave me?"
But yes, girl, I technically had three accounts because I had one for my car with my car note, and then I had my individual account, and then I had our joint. So I just end up letting him have the joint account. I would never deposit any money in there, and I would just let him have it. So it cut out miscommunication. It cut out me maybe using his funds and he needed it, or vice versa.
Yes,
So
and you should always have a business account, y'all. You should not be running
yes,
your business from your personal account. Okay, that's crucial. You should not be.
very good, Jim Shannon. By the way, I do have a business account. I didn't at that time, but I just got one last year.
Yeah, it
So
comes. It comes. It comes, and it's also a way to be able to say, like, "See, I am making money," or maybe I am losing money, or I don't know. It's,
right,
but it's important. It's important.
you'll be able to keep better track of your expenses for your
Mhm,
business because you're not going through all these other expenses. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So take it from me. Make sure you get something different, like get a business account because I had one, but it's like I wasn't using it. So now I'm gonna have to go through my Excel sheet of what was business and what wasn't. But honestly, everything I've been doing this year has all been like business related. So I'm kind of like in a good place, except for like some of my bills.
And ain't
But
we
other
all?
than
Ain't we all? Because let me tell you something. One thing I declare over 2023 is that my financial my financial situation will turn around a whole 360, not just the debt, but the things that I want to be able to purchase inside of my business, the machines, the buildings, the things that I want to be able to do. So that's something that is my declaration for this year. Nothing else is more important than getting my finances straight, getting completely out of the bad debt. Because you have bad debt and good debt, but
right,
getting out of the
right,
bad debt so that I can continue to build the good debt, so that I'm able
right.
to apply to get certain machinery and printers and things like that that I need to scale my business.
Yes. And one thing I declare over my business is I am booking my first speaking engagement this year. I mean, I don't really count those master classes I did. I mean, I was speaking, but an actual speaking engagement. Like I'm speaking that over my life and my business, and
And
I can't wait.
you gotta do that. You have to do, and you know what? Love and business, right? If you're in a relationship right now, share those things with your spouse, right? Because
Yes.
everything all good in the first month. I'm not even gonna say 3 months of the year. All right. So for one, if you know that you're an inconsistent person, and it's okay, you gotta admit these things to yourself. I was an inconsistent person. All right. I was inconsistent because I wanted to do so much. So I felt like, oh, I'm gonna do this. The best thing to do is focus on one thing. Like I said,
Mm,
my main objective for this year ain't about scaling my business, ain't about grow. My main objective is to turn around my financial, get out of the bad debt, turn around my finances. That's the main thing for my business. And then to be able to share that with my husband. So in order for me to get out of bad debt, he has to get out of bad debt too. So that's something that we're going to have to do together. And so, like, we going right back to communication, and we're going right back to finances, and we're going right back to balance. If I want to be able to turn around my finances this year, that has to be something that we both do together. And it's going to be some times on this year where I'll be like, wait, maybe we should not buy that, right? Because we're trying to get out of debt. Let's put that towards this, right? We already having a conversation. We don't even like, do we need cable? What can we get rid of? So
Right.
um share those things with your spouse so that
Mhm.
they can understand why you're grinding so hard. Look here,
Right.
so that they can, oh, okay, she's doing this because she has declared, she has made this declaration, just like we said, oh, I'm gonna lose weight this year, or I'm gonna go on
Mhm.
a vacation this year no matter what, or I'm gonna do this. Everybody's first thing is, I want to scale my business. You can't scale your business if you're in debt, y'all.
Right.
All right,
Right.
you just can't. You have to learn how to um, become better at your finances. You have to
Mhm.
pick up a book and read together. Find something. Ask your spouse, what can we sit down together this year and read together? Y'all don't gotta sit there and read in front of each other. But one thing I like to do, especially like with my kids, is we'll pick a book and we'll read individually, and then we'll meet like on a specific day of the week. So I do that with two of my daughters. I call it my little book club.
Okay.
And so, we read, and that's important too. Learning together. It's not just always about making money together, but it's also
Right.
about learning together, and not
Mhm.
learning different things, but learn something together. Find something in common together that y'all can learn together, so that it'll give you something else to have more in common with, right? Oh
Right.
man, did you read that part in the book? Because reading is so underrated. I don't even understand why. I
It
love to
is.
read. And I was a kid who didn't like to read because I just wasn't the
Ugh.
best at reading. But now I make it it's not just like I have to be reading something. I read each and every day. And when I'm sitting on the bed reading and I look over at my husband who might be doing something else, come on, let's read together. Or it's just another time to have a moment together. So that's how you really strengthen these things. Teach your husband about, or your spouse, something about your business. Hey, can you help me edit my videos? Can you do this? Can you do that? Because then they feel a part. Sometimes our spouses just feel left out because it might feel like
Mhm.
we're giving all our attention to our business. But when they become a
Right.
part of it, right? Hey, babe, can you take my packages to the post office for me? Right now, then you give them a title. You give them a title, right? Your postal operations, your tech management, your this, your that. Then they really begin to. I do the same thing with my kids. I give everybody a title. I let everybody know what their job is, because this is a family business, because I can't scale it by myself, right? It goes back to the balance part, right? That's how I
Mhm.
balance my scales. Everybody asks me, how do you do it? It's because I know how to balance things in my life. I know when and where and how much time to give everybody. Because when you're a mom, yeah, I got to give individualized attention to every child in here. There's 4 children.
Right.
Then I got to give time
Right.
to my husband. Then I got to give time to myself. I got to give time to God. I got to give time to my business. And I only have
Yes.
24 hours to do all of that. And it's the same thing every day. I don't skip. Yeah, I don't skip that. So you have to begin to prioritize certain things in your life, and your spouse may not be into that, right? Like, it's some things
Mhm.
that you might be into that they're just simply not into. They just simply, no matter how much you communicate, no matter how much you try to do these things, that's just not their thing, right? Now, my husband's lucky because I love sports. If I can imagine, if I just had
Right.
no interest in sports, that I just would not understand some of the things that he does
Right.
and says. And what, like, yeah, my husband is such a diehard Ravens fan. We make fun because when the football season starts, right, every Sunday,
Mhm.
we know, like, where my husband, we say, all right, I have a kid on at the beginning of the football season. I was telling my kids, look, football starting next week. You already know.
Mm-hmm.
Dad's gonna be right in front of that TV whenever the Ravens play. This is like that is a non-sacrifice for my husband. He is not missing his game. He's not. We went Christmas
Right.
shopping and the Ravens were playing,
Uh-huh.
and my husband had his phone out, like
Watching the game while y'all
watching the game,
shopping.
shopping, watching the game, watching the game. Okay. Um. So that is that's him. Like that's him. And we know that, right? But if I was not into
Mhm.
sports, if I did not understand it, I would be like, what are you doing? Like it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So
Right.
there's some things that regardless of how much you try to share or these things, it's just not their interest. And you don't have to push it on them or make it them, but you just gotta like have that real conversation. Look, I get that you're not into what I'm doing, but this is what I'm
Right.
passionate about, and I'm not going to stop doing it. Um, but you're going to have to find that common ground with me, right? Like I'm laying it out for you. I got to create these reels. I got to do this. I got to do that. I have to divide or give this amount of attention to this business. So you can, whether you like it or not, I'm still going to do it,
Right.
and it just has to get done. It
Right. It has to get done. Right.
just has to get
Absolutely. I I so agree with you. There was a point I was gonna make. I was gonna say, never try to change your spouse because they will evolve and grow on their own time. Like, just accept them for who they are because when a person feels like you're trying to change them, they're going to feel like you don't really, they're not the person for you because you're trying to change them. So for
Mhm.
me, like I know my husband's not really hands on with my business, but he did grow his hair out, and thanks to me, he does not have a bald spot because his hair was getting a little thin, and I was like, well, maybe you need to let your hair grow out a little bit. So we've been growing his hair out and everything. And he is one of my little guinea pigs that tries out my hair products. So that
That's
aspect
helping.
does
That's helping.
yeah, it's
That's
it's
helping.
definitely helping. I can't expect him to want to do every single thing in my business, and I stopped trying to pressure him on doing certain things because he's not into it. So those are some things that you definitely want to remember to just love them for who they are, and pray about some of the things that you may want to evolve. Because prayer changes things. Let me tell
Mhm.
you,
Prayer, yeah,
like 'cause
prayer does change things. And then when you
prayer
say
is
about
powerful.
entrepreneurship, no, not saying that your spouse doesn't take you seriously. It's like it's almost like a child starting out a new sport. All right. Okay, you want to do soccer this year. You did basketball last year. You did dance. You did karate. You did all these things. You're like,
Right,
okay, we'll see how this goes, right?
right.
No matter like my daughter want to play volleyball. Over the summer, they
That's
wanted to swim. They want to play basketball. They want to do all these things, and that's okay. But and a lot of people don't take entrepreneurs serious. They're in their first few years in business. Really,
right,
nobody takes you seriously until you are seen as successful.
right, right,
They might believe in you, like, yeah, that's my girl. I believe in her. But she making it, right? So it
right,
is like
right.
that. And look, it's not just our spouses, that's our family, that's half our friends, that's what I mean. Oh yeah, she got that. That's where that term, that little business, right? Like
Yeah.
I got some
No, big
family
business over
members.
here.
I got some family members that I still talk to. Like I'm like, y'all see my glow up. Like y'all see I don't have no
Mhm.
little business. Y'all see what I'm doing out
Okay.
here. But when they
Yes.
talk to me on the phone, how's your business? They don't say your little business. How's your business? Like I can it's just not because like I said, really until you are viewed as successful, a lot of
Mhm.
people just aren't going to take you seriously. They're not going to take what your business is doing seriously. They don't see it at that next level like you do. And that's okay, right? You're
Right,
not here to prove anybody wrong. You're not here to
right.
prove your spouse wrong. You're not here to prove like, you know what? He don't support me. She don't support me. I'm no, that's the wrong way to go about your business, right? That's the
Right.
wrong why. That's the wrong motivator to carry. And I carried that for years. Like, oh, okay, they don't believe in me. Watch what I do. And it's, you know what I mean? Like, because now what you're doing is you're out to prove something. You don't have to prove anything to anybody, including your spouse. Yes, and I'm going to say it. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You only have to prove to yourself and God that you are worthy
Yes.
of
Mhm.
doing what it is that you're going to do, because at the end of the day, it's really going to be you and God building this thing out, because
Right.
he's the only person that's going to be able to give you the strength, be able to make opportunities come open. He's the person that's going to open up the doors for you. He's the person that's going to send the right people in your life. And if you don't rely on that, on him, on God to do these things for you, and you try to rely on man, you try to rely on other people, you try to rely on that business coach that's going to tell you that you can make six figures in 6 months, and you try to put your faith in everybody else instead of putting your faith in yourself and God and your business, it's going
Hmm.
to fail. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, it's honest, because as entrepreneurs, how many times, right, have you hit the roadblock, right? How many times have you hit the roadblock? I hit the roadblock several times. A lot of times
Yes.
I stood at the roadblock. A lot of the times I turned back around from the roadblock. But now I've learned that I can walk around this roadblock. I can jump, and with the strength of God, I can walk around, I can jump around. I recognize the roadblocks when they come up. Um,
Mhm.
when I on Black Friday, during the week of Black Friday of 2022 last year, I think I had 485 sales within
Whew.
a week. Within a
Sheesh.
week.
Killed it.
So thank
Congrats,
thank
sis.
you, thank you. On Black Friday, I had my husband, my oldest daughter. I had
Hmm.
everybody in here doing something to get orders out. And with I think we were able to mail out about 200 orders that day. And I'm working against the clock. They don't
Right.
understand, y'all. I gotta get these orders out today, today, today. We got until the cutoff time is 4 o'clock. I gotta be
Right.
to the post office. We gotta get it done. Okay.
Right.
Got everything, get to the post office. About a few days later, I noticed that some of the packages aren't moving. Like they're just still stuck, like in the area. And I'm like, what is going on? And they come to find out I had like 70 packages get lost in the mail.
Did you?
First off, I'm still hurting from it, but I'm telling y'all, that
No, you
situation,
did tell me that.
if it wasn't for the strength of God, y'all, listen to me. Imagine having to replace 70 packages. If it was
Girl.
not for the strength of God, I had to go to God several times. God, please give me the strength to deal with the situation. Not just the strength, but the wisdom to make the right decision. What do I do? What do I do?
Right.
Because at first I started panicking, and I started thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to replace, refund, refund,
Right.
refund, refund, refund. And I did that. And then one I was studying because I do Bible study every morning. I was studying, and something came to me because I was teaching somebody something about my website. I said,
Hmm.
well, instead of giving everybody refunds to replace it, I can just give them gift cards to come shop on my new website for whatever it is, the amount that they left off on. And then that way
Yes.
I'm not technically losing the money, but
Right.
it was like the things I had to work it through. And as I began to work it through, I prayed about it. I felt my anxiety started to go down. I felt all these things because it is that pressure once you hit a certain level of success. And that's something I had to realize too. Once you hit a high level of success, there's an expectation that follows it. Oh, was that just a fluke? Was that just a one-time thing? Is this
Right.
something that's actually sustainable? Are we going to be packing 200, 400 orders every single week? What is it? So
Right.
you have this very high level of expectation, and that's exactly what I was going through towards the end of the year. And once again, right, my spouse, if it wasn't for him, to say, like, look, you know, and what do you need in order to be able to keep this going? right? Because
Right.
I had a serious moment with my husband. Here I am, and most business owners would be like, "There's no reason for you to complain. You getting all these orders, you're making all of this." But in that short span, within 6 weeks, I realized, and trust me, I broke down. I was crying, and I think a
Oh,
lot of entrepreneurs think that having a whole lot of business is a lot of fun. And I'm not saying that it's not fun, right? Like if you woke up to 1,000 orders tomorrow, your first reaction would be excitement, but then the real work really kicks in. I felt like over that 6 week span, like I my decrease in talking to my friends, like
mhm.
the decrease in, all these different things started to happen because I really had to focus in on the high volume of my business. And it was the holiday time. And it was all these things happening, right? And like I said, that's when that balance, I felt like some of the stones were getting misplaced on my balance scales. But I also had to realize within myself, wow, I need better organizational skills. I need better time management. I need better accountability. And I know one person who is the best at those things, which is my husband. So he had me to, babe, you need to write out every single step so that if you weren't here, one of us can come in and say, okay, this is how we pack an order. This is how we ship things. This is how we check orders. He push me to hold, you know what I mean, to really set the standard in my business. If you're going to scale this, you need to be organized, right?
Right.
Like I should be able to walk into your office and say, okay, let me pull this. It needs to be organized in here. You need to keep your office clean, right? Because that's a part of organization. Because I'm telling you, when you ripping off things and this, and my office can look completely messy most of the days, and it's the first thing you see when you walk into the house. So keep your office clean. You don't want to hear those things, but when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Mm.
Cleanliness, then you're able to record videos. You're able to just do these things. You're able to move faster because you're more organized. Time management, that was a big thing, right? I only got a
Yes.
little bit of time during the day to do the things that I need to do. I got to make it to the post office before 4 o'clock. I got to pick the kids up at 2 o'clock. You know my schedule because I'm on the phone with
Yes.
you, right? So
Yes.
that time management and accountability, holding yourself accountable. When
Yes.
those 70 orders were missing, I had to hold myself accountable. I had to stop blaming the post office. Yes, it was the post office fault that those orders were missing. But
Yes.
when I look back on it, I should have had insurance on every single package. Yep. I said it, right? Because when you do first class, even if you do first class of tracking, that doesn't, like, if you don't get insurance on that packet, on
Mm.
that thing, if you don't pay that additional money for that insurance, no, well, so that's something I had to look at and say, okay, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. So now when I open up my Shopify store, I made sure
Mm.
that I had certain things in place. And if it wasn't for me having that conversation with my husband, babe, like please help me. Like I struggle. I'm a free spirit. I work best in chaos, but I realize that scaling my business does not work well in chaos. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without his support. But if I didn't communicate that, if I didn't communicate my frustrations, if I didn't communicate my doubts, if I didn't
Mhm.
communicate my weak moments, my weaknesses, if I didn't get that out there in the air, I wouldn't have been able
Mhm.
to receive that good information. And you got to be able to receive. I didn't want to hear him tell me you need to keep your office clean. Like, I'm like, you know what I mean? But you have to put that aside. You gotta put your pride aside and say, "Yeah, you're right, I do. I should." You know what I mean? Because this is a business and I got employees, and I don't want my employees coming in here and my office look a hot mess and this and that.
Right.
So you really gotta you move into a different standard.
Right. Right. You can't stay the same. You got to evolve. Got to grow. Got to do better. Got to be that 1% better each day.
Yes,
You know
each
that
and
we like to
every
talk
single
about.
day. You really do.
Yes. Yes. That's what I'm working on every day, just to be 1% better each day. I'm really hold myself accountable and, expecting, I have expectations for myself, like I can't let
Good.
myself down. No more of that. Like, just do the thing, decide and do it. No matter what comes up, just do it.
Just do
And
it.
you'll feel better about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you
It
sure
also
will.
builds confidence.
You will. And my last piece of advice is if you're thinking about starting a business or maybe you're in your business already and you might be having some issues in your life, maybe personally or with your spouse, don't use your business as like as a scapegoat. Like I think that when I started out in business 10 years ago, I didn't need you didn't it was no it was social media, but social media did not dominate your business. It wasn't make or break if you had an Instagram page or whatso may have you. You just needed a website. 10 years ago, you just needed a website. Facebook, I think 10 years ago, you still had to be like on college Facebook. Like, come on, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's nowhere how it is now. So I say all that to say this. We get a lot of people because we are everything in our business.
Hmm.
You have to be able to separate your business from your personal life. Okay. Shannon, yes, I'm the CEO of Create Your Own Empire. That's me, y'all. But I, it's not that I'm putting on this facade because who you see is who I am, right? This is me. This is real me, real talk. When I'm
Right.
online, I'm moving online as Create Your Own Empire. I'm not moving online as Shannon. Create Your Own Empire doesn't have any political views. Yes, we are a Christian-owned business. You're gonna hear my, you know what I mean. I talk about God, but there's a lot of things that I stay out of. There's a lot of things because I'm not moving in. I rarely give my own personal opinion because my business is my business. Shannon is Shannon.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Shannon is Shannon.
Absolutely.
Shannon, y'all not, I rarely even post pictures of my kid. And look, I'm not lying, y'all. If you if you don't have a title in this company here, you don't get posted. I'm not lying. Like, and I'm not trying to be mean or rude. Like, I'm not just posting like a family picture on my business page. Not that I don't love my family, right? But this is my business because
Hey, I'm not either.
it's
And I
you
love my family.
people see this every single day, and I think that people get that mixed up, right? You get your personal life intertwined with your business. My business
Right.
has nothing to do with my personal life. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing, right?
Absolutely.
Has nothing to do with my personal life. And that gives me the separation to be able to turn it off. You have to be able to know how to turn it off and shut things down. Otherwise, you'll be business 24/7. 24/7. I'm on social media strictly for business. I have a personal
Right.
Facebook account. Even on there, I still post about my business. Like I personally, I am Shannon Brown is personally not on social media. Shannon Brown is not on social media giving her personal opinion, sharing her personal views, sharing her personal life, or things like that. Every account that I'm logged into on social media is for my business, and that's how I roll because that helps me to be able to draw that fine line. I'm okay if I don't get on social media. Like if I don't get on Instagram or if I don't get on these things, I'm okay. Like because like my
Right.
business is on break. My, that was a beauty. And I shared that with you a lot was when I blew up on Etsy, I didn't have to do anything on social media. Like
Right. I
that was
know, which was
beautiful. That was
amazing.
the best. That was the best part of it all. Is I didn't have to do anything with social media. But the name of the game is social media, right? Because here I am back on social media, right? Because I'm trying to scale. I'm trying to grow past Etsy. I'm trying to get a bigger audience. I'm trying to reach out to more people. So I got to get my butt back on social media. So there's I just want everybody to understand you got to know how to draw that fine line in your business. Yes, you're the owner. Yes, you're the CEO. Yes, you do everything. But if you don't draw that line and make the difference between your business and yourself, you're going to be hurt about a lot of things, right? You're going to be hurt about a lot of things. You're not going to be very open and receptive to receiving advice or to really understanding, um, the things that can help you truly grow, right? As help your business grow and then help you grow as as a business owner, right? It's more than just social media. It's more than just sales. Y'all, that's what I had to realize. It's a whole entire operations. Like if you're
Yes.
selling things, especially if you're selling a physical product, there's so many more things that you have to think about other than social media. So ask yourself and be real with yourself. You know what I mean? Do I how personally connected? Because that's one thing about me. Like, y'all, there's a whole nother side of me that a lot of y'all don't even know. Like, no, you have to be very close. You got to be in my inner circle to know who me is, right? But what y'all
Right.
see, right? This is my representation of my company. So every time I get online as if I'm representing my company. I'm a representation of my company, and that's it. You don't see like, well, you might see Elon Musk. He gives his personal views on his business, but I'm just saying, like Target, Walmart, all these big companies or your favorite store, their CEOs aren't online giving their personal opinion and under their
Oh,
company name. So
right.
that's something.
Absolutely not.
That's something.
Right. Right. I feel you. See, we're kind of a little different because yours is I'm an actual brand, and see, you have an actual separate business. So ours is a little different, but I definitely have to, take time off of the gram or just off of social media. I need my Saturday and Sunday for sure.
And you
I'm
can
not
and see
posting.
and you can still have that though, because that's what I mean by the separation, right? You are Ty the Natural, right? Yes,
Mhm.
that's your business, right? Ty the Natural. But
Yes.
then there's Ty. There's the person Ty, right? There's yes,
Right.
y'all. I'm Ty the Natural, but just like our favorite actor or actress, right, or somebody we know, there's Beyonce, right? And there's a Beyonce
Mhm.
superstar that we know, and then there's a whole nother Beyonce, y'all, that we have no idea about, right? Uh,
Right.
the Obamas, yes, they're the people we see and we know, but y'all there's a whole nother Obama out there that we don't even know about, right? Michelle, y'all, we see Michelle, we love Michelle, but Michelle she probably gets down. I love my first lady, y'all. I'm just saying, like, what we see, right? What you see out there, what we aspire. Oh my gosh, look at her on social media. She got it all together. Ooh, she out there
Mhm.
making sales. I can't even tell you how. Oh, girl, can you do that? Like, when people see you moving, they see what you show them, right? They see, for me, you see
Right.
the representation of my company, you see the hard work of my company, but don't get lost. Like you can separate the two, even if your name is in your business. You can separate it. You could be a family brand, right? But and still have your family and still be, you know what I mean, be that different. My kids always say, Mom, there you go. You got your live voice on. So even my children can recognize when I turn it on and when I turn it off. they
Right.
they know the difference.
Yes.
You can do it, girl. You can have any
Yes,
day
I
off
can.
you want. You can have Saturday, Sunday. You don't have to be online every single day. But if you
And
know
I'm not.
that your business is thriving, or not thriving, but that's where majority of your eyeballs come in, right? That's how people find you, is through social media. Then you do what you're doing right now. You put out evergreen content for people to find you. You sit down for 2 weeks out of the month and you plan content for the next 2 weeks or 4 weeks. Then you get to have your break.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly, sis. So that was our love in business conversation, guys. Um, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope y'all enjoyed my very beautiful special guest, Shannon. Make sure y'all hit her up. Shannon, why don't you tell them where to find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Create Your Own Empire Transfers, all one word. If you are looking to start or maybe expand your t-shirt business, y'all stop weeding vinyl. Don't you go out and buy that $200 Creek Cut maker. You better come over to my website, get you a $2 transfer, get you a $2 shirt, even get you a $2 mock-up that I offer on my website and start your business, right? Like there's still plenty of money to be made in the apparel industry. You just need to understand how to carve out your own section. All right. And so I'm excited. You can always send me a DM if you're watching this. You can send me a DM on Instagram, or you can also find me on TikTok as well under Create Your Own Empire. It's a new year, and I'm excited to see what God has planned for me.
Yes, me too, sis. Congrats on transitioning your business. Congrats on all your success, all your future success. And I look forward to growing with you in the future, sis.
Absolutely. Me too. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a guest on your show. I appreciate the conversation. It's one that needs to be held. And I hope that your viewers are able to take something away from this and to be able to utilize the words that were given today so that they can learn how to grow and get better.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, sis. Love you.
Love you
And thank you
too.
for being here. We out, y'all.